So what we're going to do today is I want to show you how to create a design like this that you'll be able to cut with your Silhouette Cameo, and you'll be able to do the glitter vinyl or the electric or the easy weed or any of those. And then I'm also going to show you how in the Designer Edition software that you can use that trapping method that we always talk about in the Wizard. So a lot of it's going to be some steps or it requires a couple additional steps than it would, for example, in CorelDRAW or the TRW Stone Wizard, but that's okay. We still want to show you how to do that so you have the ability to now, because again, if the Designer Edition software is what you have now, what you need to use to grow your business, then we want you to be successful with that as well. So any questions real quick as far as with the software, anything before we get going? Now, obviously, I'm going to be running through the stuff here, but the main thing I want all of you to do, it looks like we have a full house here today, but the main thing I want all of you guys to do is make sure that you're answering questions. So throughout the entire process, I just want you to make sure that you're typing in questions. Rudy's on the other side. He's going to be answering some questions as they come in, and just different basic questions. I'll try to answer questions. And honestly, there's probably some of you out there that know more about this software than I do right now. But that's why I've been teaching myself, been working with the software, just to be able to give you some different tips and tricks of different things that may be able to help you, and then we'll be able to get feedback from you guys as well on, hey, there's a feature here or there's a feature here, because this obviously isn't a program that we wrote like the TRW Stone Wizard where we know everything that it does. So it's a pretty cool program when I've been working with it, and just want to show you a few of the things. So as you can see, we have all of our basic layout here, and we did have one question last I knew version 3 wasn't good and it had lots of problems. Are they fixed now? The version 3 that I've been using it the last 3 days. I haven't had it crash at all yet, and it seems like it's been working pretty well for me here. But if there are different issues, as far as I know, when different companies first release their software, they always are little different bugs and things that you can work out. You have beta testers. Sometimes you don't catch all of them, and then hopefully when you do catch them, then they get fixed. And that's how we are with the Wizard, obviously. When we release a new version of the Wizard, different users and different customers may find things. Luckily, since we do all of the coding with it, we can fix them right away and get back to it. So I see a couple of you did definitely have some issues with it. So I'm going to run through it here, and we'll see how it actually goes through and how it performs here for us today. So again, I haven't done a whole lot with the rhinestone side of it yet. This is basically to get that glitter heat transfer vinyl design and try to do that trapping method with it using a couple of the different tools though. So one thing I did want to do, and we had a lot of questions as far as how to, with the Designer Edition software, use our TRW TrueType fonts. So I did want to cover that real quick just because we get so many questions on it. So for example, I'm in the Designer Edition here. If I go to my text tool and I just type out the word baseball, okay? Now, in the TRW Stone Wizard, we have that built around our TRW TrueType fonts. So it makes it very easy to do the resizing and the respacing and all of those features in our actual software. But obviously, as we create the fonts, we want them to be able to be easily used and manipulated in different softwares as well. So you'll normally see we'll put a point size on all of our Rhinestone TrueType fonts. Well, the Silhouette Studio Designer Edition is pretty cool the way that it does it. So if I just typed out the word baseball here, and let's just say I did my TRW 130 super small. So I just typed in TRW 130 if you purchased that on the website, and I'm going to click on that. So obviously right now it's going to be like this, and it's going to stone out, and I can go in and edit it and type whatever I want, okay? But as we know, that's not necessarily going to be the right size circles for rhinestones, right? So what we need to do is we need to make sure to get this to SS10 or SS6 or SS16, whatever we want. Well, in our program, we make it so you can just click on a button and it does it for you automatically. Well, you can still do it in the Designer Edition software, and it's not actually that difficult. So if I have my baseball here and I come up here to the rhinestone feature in the Designer Edition, and I just click on Edge. Now, I get a jumbled mess, and then most people will look at it and say, man, that doesn't look good. Well, it's actually pretty easy. All you're going to do is grab one of your corner handles here, drag it down until you see it. See, if I go too small, they get all jumbled. If I hit it right, there's my SS10s. If I make it bigger, then it loses it again. So all you need to do is type it out, go to there. You can see my spacing's real tight right there. If I want a little bit more spacing, I'll get it to about right there. And there's my SS10s. See how easy that is? So I can go to SS16s. It's going to be jumbled again, but just grab the corner, and now it's set for SS16s. If I want to go to 20s, same thing. Just drag it out until you see it form perfectly like we have the text. And this, you can still edit all of this. As you can see, I can still type out the word baseball. Okay? Does that make sense to everybody? Everybody see how I was doing that? So it's actually a very simple process, and it's, when I was playing around with it and I saw it, I was like, man, there's no resize feature in the Designer Edition. And then as I started doing different things, I was like, man, that's pretty easy. It's probably something that a lot of users out there don't realize, because if you're out there and you type out a font and then you hit Edge and you do it for, let's say you do it for SS10s, you get this and you're like, man, the TrueType fonts don't work in Designer Edition. But how many of you out there currently knew about just clicking on the edge and then just resizing it to get it perfect for your stone sizes and the TrueType fonts? Now, the one thing I still do need to play around with is I need to try and figure out a way, and I'll be able to figure it out somehow, but as far as getting into the two-color designs, because as many of you know and you see from my different videos with the magic text features, well, with the magic text, it automatically adds that second color perfect sizing. So I am playing around with this and trying to figure out the easiest way to get that two color, but for single color fonts, you can see how easy this is. And now, as you can see, as I move this around, what I can do is I can come up here to Object and ungroup them all, and then highlight and release Rhinestones. So now you can see each of my stones are individual. Now, if I come in here and I go ahead and release the compound path, you can see there they are, perfect for SS10. So that's 0.13 inches. So everybody see how easy that was? So this is actually ready to go ahead and cut and send to your cutter now. So pretty cool, especially for a lot of you out there that may not have known how easy it is to, and we have close to 200 Rhinestone TrueType fonts on the website now. So if you had a different font and you just want to type out something real quick, and you want to type out, and even with uppercase, football mom, just very basic. I'm going to do the TRW 134. So there's my football mom. Obviously, if I drag it here, I'm thinking, okay, we're good. It looks perfect. It circles. But if I make it that size and that size, those aren't both set for SS10s. So I just go to my rhinestones. I go to Edge. It looks like nothing right now. Drag it out a little bit, and then I know that's my sweet spot right there. I can go to Object and ungroup, highlight it, release Rhinestones. And there we go. Now to see the exact sizing, to make sure that it's right, I can just go release compound path, and look at that, 0.13 inches. So you don't even, the Designer Edition, you don't even have to pay attention to those different fonts or the sizing, the point sizing that we have on all of our TrueType fonts. All you need to do is adjust it a little bit. It's going to hit that perfect spot like we just did right here. And now this file is ready to cut. Okay? So I did want to run through that pretty quickly, just to show you how easy that is and how easy it is to use all of the Rhinestone TrueType fonts here in the Designer Edition software. All right? Okay, perfect. So now what I want to do, let's get into a little bit of that design, because I want to go over that design a little bit and show you some different things. Obviously, we got a bunch of different Rhinestone versions in here as well. We're actually going to do one of, we want to do a free version here to obviously let you guys know what the actual trainings are like. So we have a lot of people in here and a lot of customers that haven't come to any of our trainings before because they may not have pertained to you if we're using CorelDRAW on the Wizard when you have Designer Edition. So we want you to see what the trainings are like, what the webinars are like, and see the value of them. So obviously, we do have the paid versions as well. They're normally $10, and then you'll also get a recorded version of it that you can go back and watch anytime. And then anytime it's a paid version, you'll also get any of the files that we create during the webinar. And then we'll normally do a coupon code at the end of the webinar as well. So think about it. If we teach you how to design something in, for example, the Designer Edition software here, and it's a $10 actual class to come to, you're going to get a free design for it. You're going to get a coupon code that will save you some money if it's something you were looking to purchase anyway. But then more importantly, you're going to get the training on how to create that design. So like, for example, this tail design that we're doing here today, instead of purchasing the download on our website for, say, $10 each for all the different sports, you can actually create your own. And then instead of buying 10 of them at $100, you're learning how to make it yourself, and now for $10 you can make any name you want. So that's our main goal with this. And again, we know, okay, why would you do that? It's going to take away from some of your different sales and download files. But again, our goal is to obviously grow your business. The larger we can make you, the more we can help you sell shirts and decals and grow your business. And obviously, the more successful we are as well, because if you sell 100 shirts this year and 1,000 shirts next year, then obviously with the heat transfer vinyls that you'll need, or upgrading your cutter, or heat press, or different things like that, that's what we're here for. Okay, so let's go ahead and get going on this design. So basic tools over here, I'm just going to click on my text tool and I'm going to type out the word baseball. Okay, so we're going to make that same baseball one that I showed you in the image. So I have baseball typed out. First thing I want to do, and again, please make sure, I see a lot of you are asking questions, make sure you're typing in questions throughout it. And if you see something where I'm going too fast, just let me know. I can kind of go back and do it again. I'm starting to learn some of the different shortcuts in Designer Edition. And then we will definitely be able to go back and show you again. And I want to make sure that you're obviously comprehending exactly what I'm doing so you can learn. And again, like I said, we're going to have the recorded version for you so you can go back, pause, rewind, watch it as much as you want. Kayla had a quick question as far as how do you put the TrueType font into Designer Edition. Kayla, you're not, anytime you purchase a font on our website, it's an actual TTF file, a TrueType font file. So don't even think about Designer Edition, CorelDRAW, any of the programs. All you're going to do is actually install it into your font library on your computer. And then technically you could type out the font in Microsoft Word or any program you want, because it's just a basic TrueType font, just like any of your other fonts that you currently use, okay? And then all you do is install it to your font library on your computer, and then it'll show up in Designer Edition, in CorelDRAW, all the different programs that you use, okay? All right, so baseball here. Let's go ahead and we're going to use a brush script. I really like the brush script font here. So I'm going to make it a little bit taller, a little bit nicer, and drag it out here. So I'm at 10.6. Let's go down to about, and because it's going to be a vector file, we can adjust it to anything we want. So let me zoom in here a little bit and see all of these different lines right here, right here, right here, all the different lines that we have there. Well, obviously, we need to what's called weld these different lines, because we don't want to send this to our cutter. Otherwise, the Cameo is going to go ahead and cut each one of those different lines. And because those little areas are so small right there, it's going to actually probably end up weeding out, and then it's going to have a blank part when on your shirt's going to be showing through. It's going to have little cut lines on it. It's not going to look good at all. So basically, anytime and the cool thing about Designer Edition, it shows you in the wireframe here like this, so you can actually see where all those cut lines are. Well, to get rid of those real quick, an easy way to do it is you can come up here, and if you hover over this, your modify window, and then right here is our weld. If I just click on weld, see how those all went away now? So now it welded all those away. So now we have nice smooth cuts for when we're going to be weeding it. All right, did everybody see that? So I'm going to hit Control Z as in a zebra to go back because I don't want to do that part quite yet. Now what I'm going to do is I found this tool, and it's our curve shape tool. It's similar to the tool that we show a lot of you in CorelDRAW, which is our B-spline tool that we use a lot. So what I'm going to do, this part will take some practice, and I'm just going to actually and I'll show you. Let me click off of it real quick. I want to show you large just kind of what this does. Watch, I clicked my first node. Now when I click on the second one, see how it starts curving with whatever I'm doing? So see how it's automatically adding that curve to it? So it's a pretty cool feature, very, very, very similar to the B-spline tool, and you can use this feature a lot to trace different items, things like that, and then you just connect it at the end. Okay? So I'm going to use this tool to make my tail design right here. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm just going to start off the edge of this, and I'm going to go all the way to the end here, and not really paying attention, doesn't need to be perfect. Go all the way back here, round this, around here. Don't want to connect quite yet. Now I'm going to connect it, okay? So everybody see how I did that? And I've drawn a bunch of the different tails with the B-spline tool, so believe me, when you draw your first tail, it's not going to look like a tail. No problem. Just work with it, practice a little bit, and you can make it look like whatever you want. I kind of like the style where it kind of concaves in a little bit right there. And then you can see it attached at the end here where it's still overlapping. Okay? Well, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this entire design, and back to my modify, I'm going to go ahead and weld. So now I weld it, and see this part right here? It welded that together as well. Okay? So let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit. Now I'm going to fix up this area a little bit. All right? So to fix up that area a little bit, first thing I need to do is let's go ahead and convert that to a path. So you can see I converted it to a path. Now I can see my nodes to edit. Everybody see what I did there? And then to edit your nodes, just double click it. A single click selects it. A double click gives you the nodes to see. All right? Everybody with me so far? Awesome, awesome. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, when I was playing around with it earlier, I was like, man, this is kind of a pain in the butt. I have to right-click on the node and then delete the point. Right-click on the node, then delete the point. But I want to delete multiple nodes at the same time, and in CorelDRAW, you just drag like this, and it selects multiple nodes. Well, it won't do that. Well, we figured it out finally. If you hold Shift, and then you can drag a square, now it selected all of those nodes right there, and we can delete it. Okay, so that's how you can delete multiple nodes. If you right-click on the node and hit delete, that'll delete single nodes. So what I'm doing right here is I'm just cleaning this up a little bit. If I left-click on it, I can grab my handle and see how I can move it around a little bit. I can come over here. Let's select both of these. Let's try and delete those. Let's move this node up here a little bit. Let's go ahead and double-click. Let's round this around a little bit more. And I would say we're looking pretty good right there. Looking pretty smooth right there, right? All right, so let's go ahead and zoom out. And did everybody see how I was doing that as far as editing the nodes? That's one thing you want to try and get used to, and it's not very difficult in the program to be able to click on there, and you can see when you click on one of the nodes, you can grab these handles and move it wherever you want to change it around a little bit, okay? Okay, so now let's go ahead and zoom back out. We have our baseball design right here. So that B is not connected. No worries. It's just when we welded it like that. All right. So let's go ahead now, and I'm going to highlight the entire design, and I'm going to hit Control G. So Control G as in giraffe, and that grouped it together. So now it's all grouped together. Because I'm going to go back just to show you. Back at this point, back when I welded it, it basically split the B off. All right? So B there, hold Shift, and you can select that one. Now I have it all selected. Control G as in giraffe, And there you go, baseball. Now is where we can get pretty creative. And this is actually a pretty cool feature in Designer Edition that we were talking about today. So watch this. We can go over here to our offset feature. So basically what we're doing is we're going to create a outline around this for another color. So watch this. Go to offset. See how easy it did that? And then when I click off of it, look at that. It welded it all automatically too. So watch this. See that right there? There's your second color. So pretty awesome. It's a pretty cool feature that's nice. Now what you can also do is watch this. I'm going to hit Control Z as in zebra to go back. All right. I'm going to do it again. I got you, Rebecca. So we got our design here. Watch. Offset. There's my offset. But check this out with the distance here. You can drag it out and make a larger offset, a smaller offset. So now the drags, it's a little bit difficult as far as it jumps a lot. So what you can also do, which is nice, is you can come over here and say, I want to go at 1.8 inches. 1.8, that's looking pretty right there. Now, as you can see, my B and A, because they were kind of split apart before, it looks like, oh man, there's a bunch of cut lines right there. That's not going to work. Watch what happens to this as soon as I click off of it. Bam. It welds it all for you. So I'm going to give you an idea of what we're looking at now. And basically, because it's just showing us a wireframe, I'll show you what it looks like in an actual fill pattern. So this part right here, let's click on this and turn that to black. Let's click on this outline and turn that to orange. And then obviously we want to click on these line colors and get rid of just those basic outlines that we had. So I'm clicking on this grid basically right there, and that gets rid of those outlines. And there's our baseball design right there. Does everybody see that? Okay, so now watch what we can do. This right here would be perfect. Let's say you're using the FDC sign vinyl. You can layer this perfect, no problem, okay? You can layer it directly on top of each other with the FDC sign vinyl and be good with it. Another thing, you can layer it with our Caesar Easy Weed and have no problem. Layer it directly on top of each other. So those are two things that you have no problem. You're good to go. This design is ready to cut. Now, obviously, we like to get the sparkles. We like to get the glitters and everything else. So what you can also do is, obviously, most of you probably know by now from all of our videos, with the glitter vinyl, you can't layer it directly on top of each other like this. So I'm thinking, okay, with the Designer Edition, how can we get that outcome with actually doing the what we call the magic trap in the TRW Stone Wizard, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to select this entire design, go over here to my modify window again, and watch. I'm going to hit this subtract all. So I just hit subtract all. Can everybody see what it did? Okay, exactly. Yep. What did it do? I didn't see any change. Okay, the reason why you didn't see any change is because it subtracted what it did. So watch, it subtracted the orange that was back behind the black. In CorelDRAW, that's the simplify. So here it is subtract all. So see what that did there? See how awesome that is? I'm going to go back and I'll do it again here. Let me go back. It's all filled, you see right now. Highlight both of them. Subtract all. Doesn't look like it did anything, but when I move that, there you go. So now if you wanted to, you could even just cut this design and it would be the shirt showing through and make that whatever color you want. So you have a bunch of different options. Now here's our problem. Now we're looking at this and we're saying, okay, I have it subtracted and the lines are lining up perfectly, but that's not what I want. So I'm going to show you. Let's go back to more of our wireframe here. So I'm going to turn that wireframe on at a black, and let's turn this one on at, let's say, an orange. We got to end our fills here. So let's go back to our fill, take our fills away. Okay, so you can see what we have right here. This is our wireframe. Now, you can see when I move that, and I'll zoom in close so you can see it. I'm in close there. See how the lines are directly on top of each other? So we don't have the trapping method yet, and that's what I was just getting to, Noel. We don't have the trapping method yet. So basically, if you're using glitter, it's going to work fine, but the problem is it's going to be literally impossible to line it up perfect. So you'll probably get something like this, where there's going to be different areas of where your shirt is going to show through, and it doesn't look good at all, okay? That's not obviously the result that you want. So you want a slight overlap of the two glitters. Well, not too difficult to get that feature, and it's pretty easy here now that we've gone this far, is what we can do is, for example, if we want to do it for the inside part here, so you can see I have the baseball, inside of the baseball part selected, okay, or we can do it for the outside part. I'm going to say let's do it for the outside part, because what's going to happen is if I enlarge the inside part, it's going to make my outline a little bit thinner. Well, I want that to be nice and bold to kind of jump out on the shirt. So I'm going to do it on the outside part here, and watch what I'm going to do. So I have that outside one selected. I'm going to come up here to my offsets. Now I'm going to do an offset, but I want that offset to be let's try 0.03 and see what that looks like. I would say 0.03 is looking pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here to show you. Now, this inside part right there is my old one, okay? So that is useless to me now. I'm going to delete it. Now you can see we now have our magic trap, okay? So a lot more steps to get to it when you're getting into the actual magic trap part of it compared to clicking a button in the wizard. But we want to show you how it's still, you can still get the results and you can still get that trap. Won't it curl after a while after the magic? Gina, we've actually, with the glitter, with this slight little overlap here, we've done wash tests on it, and we still have not had one of them that has done any curling or peeling on that little edge. And we've done, the shirt we've washed the most is at about 35 washes now. So your main thing with the glitter is you want to make sure, as you can see with this orange, it's going to be overlapping a very tiny bit there. But the great thing is it's going to get that full adhesion on all of this part because this is the actual shirt showing through. And that's where you have the problem of layering the glitter directly on top of the glitter. Does that make sense? Awesome. Okay, so now we have our baseball here. Let me get it to a view that obviously you guys can kind of see what we have going. So let's just say we have a blue fill there, and our outline here is an orange outline. Now, as you can see, we still need to get rid of our colored outlines. They don't really mean anything, but visually we just don't want those there. So let's get rid of that one, and you'll see it kind of clears up a little bit as we do that. So now we have our baseball there. Obviously, now the fun part, you can customize it to anything you want. So we go to our text tool, we type out mom, and we go to our college black font we like to use a lot for this stuff. And then what we can do, what I like to do is you can almost easily make it look like a 3-color design. So watch this. I got the mom here, and with the mom, I'm going to go ahead and do a fill color, and it doesn't matter what it is. We'll just do orange for now. Let's go ahead and get rid of that outline. Now, the little green circle at the top, that's how you're going to rotate it. So let's make it a little bit larger here, and then we can rotate it a little bit, kind of go with our tail. We can throw that right there. We can grab the handle, make it a little bit larger if we want. If we wanted to, we could even get more creative and say, mom of number 3. So now you just you basically, by doing that, typing a couple extra letters, you just added $5 to that shirt, because now it's a customized shirt that they can't purchase at Walmart or Target or Bell's or any of the stores anywhere around, because now it's customized for their actual son, daughter, whoever it is. Okay? So if I want to get that 3-color look, let's say they're wearing a white shirt, to easily do that, all I'm going to do is click on this mom right here of number 3. I'm going to hold shift, click on the blue, so I have both of those selected. Come up here to my welding again, subtract all, grab my mom of number 3 out. We can go ahead and delete that. And now you can see that's showing through to make it look like it's white text on that blue and orange design. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? See, it's not very difficult. I mean, as long as you're playing around with the different features in the Designer Edition, it's a pretty simple, I mean, for the price of the Designer Edition and being an introductory cutter like the Cameo is and everything, it's a pretty awesome feature and some different things that it has that makes it pretty easy for you to be able to make designs like this. I've got a question here. So now with the vinyl deleted, you could easily fill mom of number 3 with Rhine. Yeah, Noel, you could do that. Noel was asking if you could fill mom of 3 with rhinestones. Honestly, what I would probably do with this design instead of that, because that's going to be more difficult depending on the size and text and everything that goes in there, Noel, especially if someone says, okay, I want it to say aunt of number 2, and then sister of, and then Meemaw, and then all the different crazy names that are out there. Use this part with it just showing through, and then I would probably throw rhinestones around the outside of this. So I haven't even tried this yet, but let me go ahead and let me try something real quick. I'm going to go to my offset feature again. I'm going to do an offset of my orange right there, and I'm going to do an offset of 0.1. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to my rhinestones, and I'm going to hit edge. Let's go SS10s and edge. See that? Now that's a little bit too far away. So let me go back, shrink it down, edge, and check that out. There's not much editing at all. And literally in a matter of 5 seconds there, it already found the overlap features there on it. And in a matter of 5 seconds, you just turned this into a pretty awesome custom rhinestone design with your glitter heat transfer vinyl. Does everybody see how I did that with the rhinestones? You want me to do it again? Yeah? Okay. So I'm going to delete the rhinestones here. So there's our rhinestone part of it. And then the ones that were back behind there, you can just get them out. So let's go ahead and click here. And I'm going to go to a offset. And I'm going to do an offset on that at 0.10. Okay, good there. So that shrunk it down to the 0.10. Go to our stones. We're going to hit edge. We're going to hit SS10. And then, oh, I got to have it selected, sorry. SS10, edge, and then there's your stones on it. Stones, someone asked as far as how do you fix the stones here. You could zoom in and do a couple different things. One thing you could do is obviously find out, let's go ahead and release the rhinestones so I can move them individually now. Oh. So I released the rhinestones, so now I can move them individually. Let's go ahead and do a single click. And then if you want to, you can kind of add a couple more stones in there. Everybody see how I did that? How you can add extra stones in, freehand, select tool, whatever you want. And then you can still move them around a little bit. Okay, I see a lot of questions pouring in here. How do you get it between the lines in the design that you had on Facebook? Gina, the one we had on Facebook, let me see if it's the one that, if I pull up the one that we're talking about. So let me pull up this image for you. Okay, is this the one that you're talking about there, Gina, as far as the stones between the line? Okay, yep. We're actually, because we created, what we did is we did a webinar yesterday with the TRW Stone Wizard and Corel Draw and created this entire design on our TRW TV Live. So what we're going to do, and I'm not sure if we're exactly when we're probably, I want to try and get it tomorrow. and we're going to have one of our paid webinars tomorrow. Again, it's just going to be $10, and it's going to be a live one where we're actually using the Cameo, and we're going to create this exact design, Gina. So this one, it takes a little bit longer to create, but it's still not long, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do this with the TrueType font, how to get the stones perfectly in between the two glitter vinyls there, and my guess is it would probably be tomorrow afternoon, but we're going to actually have that. We'll get it posted up here probably tonight or first thing in the morning. My guess is 3 o'clock tomorrow or 3:30 tomorrow. And then we'll actually, that's again going to be the live TRW TV where it's a live video feed where you actually see me in the video camera, and I'm going to create the design. We're going to actually cut the design. We're going to weed the design and press the design. We'll do the entire process, and that one's 75 minutes long. How would you do it so there's no white inside the letter? Not sure what you mean on the white inside the letter there. Did you get that? Okay. Okay, I'll wait on that one, but let me go with some more. What's a good number of spacing between stones? Spacing, it all depends. That's basically going to be determined by which cutter you have. Most of you, obviously, here with the Designer Edition are going to be cutting with your silhouette Cameo. So spacing is basically on how good your blade is, how old your blade is, if the Cameo is obviously still running great. So you want to make sure with your spacing, you can see we have it set at 0.039 inches right here, and you can see when I zoom in there, there's still a decent amount of spacing in between them. They're not too close, but they're not too far apart. So a lot of users out there like to get them as close as possible where the templates may possibly rip a little bit, and then it's still fine because they can still brush in the stones. And then others say, man, you know what? I want my spacing a little bit further out because I want to make sure that it never does rip. So that's all basically preference, but you can see right here kind of what we used for this design and what that spacing looks like. What if you don't want the holes in the letters like the B? What if you want it all orange with no white showing? Okay, good question there. That's what the white question was, I was guessing. So if you didn't want any white in here, if you wanted that completely orange is what the question was. I don't want that little white part, this little white part, this little white part. So like I was showing you earlier with the edit nodes, you can just double click on it and click on each one of these different nodes here and then right click and delete. Or you can hold shift, highlight the nodes, right click and delete. Okay? Did that answer your question there, Kayla? Awesome, awesome, perfect. Okay. Yep, I see everybody else. Yep. Release stones, show if, to release the stones, we had a quick question as far as to release the stones. Let me zoom out here a little bit. For example, if I had just a square here, I'm going to draw a square. Let's go to my stones, and I'm going to do an edge in SS10s. Let's go ahead and select it and do my edge. There's my stones right there. They're going to stay kind of grouped together like that right now. Right down here at the bottom, you'll see release stones. So click on it, release stones. Now you can see each one of them are actual individual stones. That's what I meant by releasing the stones. So now we can edit each one of the individual stones if we want, or Control Z is actually going to move them back. All right? Awesome. Okay, so what we'll be doing, and I mean, we're here. This design actually went quicker than I thought it was going to, which is great. But even the mom part there, like someone just asked, what if we want to change that mom now? Obviously, what we would have probably done is saved this baseball design before we actually did anything with that, and we would have saved it just as a basic. But then what you can also do is you can actually go in and edit the actual nodes for it as well. So when we do the double click as far as editing nodes, or on the blue part here, we can convert things to pass, and then Let's go ahead and ungroup it. So you can edit nodes this way as well. So if I did have this design created already and then I'm like, oh man, I forgot to save it, I can just highlight these and delete, highlight and delete, highlight and delete. And you can see now I'm getting back to my original design here. So just because we hollowed it all out doesn't mean we can't get back to our original design. You have to do a little bit more manual work. I would save the design like this, and then you could go ahead and add in your baseball or your mom or sister or whatever you want after that. Different stone sizes around the baseball. Yep, that's no problem. With the different stone sizes around the baseball, as long as now we broke this all apart already. So let me go back here and let me see if we can create a new one here. So let's go ahead and go to our stone feature. Or actually, I'll just show you this way. Let me see if we can just pull. I'm going to delete this and delete these. Oh, we don't want to delete that B in baseball. Let's go ahead and group that together. Delete that. So let's say we had just a single color baseball design right here and you wanted to add some stones around it. Now this is it's not gonna come out quite as good because you have these little areas in here. But let's say I wanted to use SS6s, and I'm gonna, obviously first I'm gonna create my offset around it. So my offset, let's say I want it to be at 0.08. So a smaller offset because we're gonna use a smaller stone, and then go over to our stones. Let's go to SS6s and do an edge. Now that filled the inside. I had the inside selected by mistake. Let me make sure I have the right area selected. There it is. And edge. And now you can see it did the edge around there. So that's with the SS6 stones right there. SS16 right there. SS20 right there. SS6 right there. So you can change it around if we haven't released them already, pretty easy. But as you can see, because of the small little areas we're getting into right here, you have to actually get into where it has more of that fill around it. So let me show you that again. Go back here. That's just change. I'm just hitting Control Z to go back. Now, let's go ahead and add that. Boom. We got our offset. Let's make our offset a little bit larger. So let's go to 0.19. I think we were somewhere right around there before. Now we can click on our red right there, and we can go to our stones, and we can go to, we need to create an offset off of this line because this is actually going to be our second color. So let me show you that. Orange there, black there. We're going to create an offset of this black right here. So let's go bam, right there, offset at 0.0, let's go 0.09. Offset is there. Now we can go over to stones, SS6, edge, and it's an edge around the outside of that. If we wanted to change that to 10s, then we can select 16s, we can select 20s, and see how much better that looks. Okay, so I got a ton of questions that came in here right as I was doing that, so I'm going to try to catch up to them all. Different stone size around the baseball, that's what I just showed you there. Where we get access. Okay, so for the recorded version, we are going to record this. We'll probably have it up tomorrow, so those of you that want this, will actually, any of the free versions, we just put straight to our YouTube channel. So we can definitely get this up. We should have it up by tomorrow afternoon at the latest of the recorded version, and you can watch it straight on our YouTube channel for free. Releasing the compound pass, I just went over that part there as far as how to release them. Does it get printed separately? Yes. Margaret, you are going to print them separately, and then with the heat transfer vinyl part of it, you're going to make sure that you mirror it. The rhinestone part of it, you cut regular, okay? Now, it doesn't have, many of you are used to or have seen the different ways to do the templates in the TRW Stone Wizard, where obviously that's one click and it does perfect color separations for you. The Designer Edition software doesn't have that, but you're just basically going to move each one of your layers out and then cut them. So when you're doing a multiple color design, it becomes a little bit more difficult to layer because the way the wizard does it with the color separations. But it's still, I mean, again, it's a much less expensive program, so it's not going to do all the same things. It's not going to do all the mock-ups and have all the different videos and everything else as the wizard will. But for a getting started program, it's a very nice program that's going to allow you to do things like this. All right. Yep, I see a lot of you had no clue how to do some of the different weldings and stuff, and that's awesome. Been using Designer Edition for 3 years now, and oh, thank you, Nicole. Nicole says she's been using Designer Edition for the last 3 years and learned more in this hour than she's learned in 3 years. Appreciate that. Okay, will you be able to use SS6 and SS10 in the same baseball? SS6 on the smaller spaces. Yes, you can, Kendra. You could technically do that into the smaller spaces. I would recommend just getting rid of those smaller spaces and using the all 10s because, again, that's where you want to save time. So you don't necessarily want to cut out an extra sticky flash template or brush in an extra couple stones just because you actually want a couple more stones in there, because you're not going to see, a normal customer is never going to see the difference of the mixtures of that. So I would say time is money in this business. You want to be able to create that shirt in 10 minutes, not 20 minutes, okay? Yes, Noelle, similar to a kiss press. Noelle asked about this being similar to a kiss press. Yes, basically kissing the edge of those, of the glitter vinyl there to allow you to do the glitter vinyls. Exactly. Awesome, Martha. Martha's a software junkie, and we verified how she would have done it. So awesome. And again, it's just a matter of playing around with the software, finding different things. I'm the one that never reads any type of video or any type of booklets or training guides. I would rather click on every button and try to break it to find out what works. And believe me, I find out everything that doesn't work too. So it's good. That's the way I learn best, is just to dig into the program and just hit every single button until I see, hey, that works, or hey, that doesn't work. Awesome, awesome. Well, I appreciate, I see a lot of you with some great feedback here and obviously enjoying the Silhouette Designer Edition software. Is there anybody in here that had never been to one of our actual live webinars like this? Any brand newbies? Awesome. Very cool. We love that. So I see a ton of you are brand new to the webinars, and that's awesome. And that's the reason why we create these live webinars. So obviously, we have over 800 tutorial videos on our YouTube channel, which is great, and it's awesome, and we don't have a whole lot on Designer Edition yet. We're going to start creating more, obviously, but the great thing, and we want to be able to interact with you. We want to see your names. We want to know Rebecca and Becky and Martha and Shelly and Kendra and everybody. So when you're with the Rhinestone world, you're part of the TRW crew. We don't want to think of you as an order number. We want to think of you as a person. We're all part of the crew. We want to help you out. We want to get to know you and see what's going to help you. But we want to interact with you like we are now. It's not just an email, or it's not just anything else. You can call us anytime. The live webinars are great because, like I'm seeing here, a lot of you have questions about things. We can answer the questions right here live for you. You don't have to. But the great thing about it is there's 100 of you in here. We can answer the questions, so it saves us time too. Instead of having 100 phone calls, we can reach out to 100 of you at a time, and one person has a question, probably 90 of the other ones may have asked that question as well, or actually it's something that they learned by someone else asking a question. So that's what's so great about these live webinars and the live trainings, is the real-time feedback and you being able to come in, learn the information. We'll have the recorded version so you can go back, and it's like the YouTube channel videos. But when you come live to the webinars, you can ask questions throughout it. We have Rudy over, and normally in the larger ones, we'll have 2 people answering questions. I know he's having a hard time keeping up with you, but it's just great to obviously get in here, interact with all the customers and the TRW crew here, and help you out as much as we can. Okay, so I see some more coming in. 3, 4, ooh, man, they're flying, and I'm not going to be able to keep up with all these questions. But what we'll do, again, any of you, anytime that have any questions during the webinars, after the webinars, feel free to give us a call, because we'll be here to answer your questions as well. One thing, as most of you know, I like to ask at every single webinar that you come to is, my goal is for all 100 of you that are in here to make sure that everybody learned at least one thing in the webinar today. So everybody in here, did you learn at least one new thing that you may not have known about the Designer Edition software? One thing that you feel like is going to help your business? Awesome. I'm seeing a ton of yeses coming through. Very good, very good. And that's our goal. As long as you come to a webinar, you learn at least one new thing, and even if it's a paid webinar, believe me, you're going to learn at least one thing that's going to help your business. But more importantly, think of it like this. This baseball design, again, it's something that you could purchase on our website, and back when it was harder to create these designs and there was no such thing as the magic trap and features like that, you can purchase the download. I think it's $10 on the website. Well, now you can make this design and it's free. So now you can customize it to any school or any team or any league or any sport, and it's going to save you a ton of money. Now you have that extra money to be able to get more shirts or more rhinestones or more heat transfer vinyl and different things that are going to make your business money, obviously. Okay, so one other thing that we always do at the end of each webinar, normally don't do them in the free ones, but since this free one is a brand new one, it's the first one we've done for the Silhouette Cameo, we got ourselves a coupon code for you. So with the coupon code, as I showed you, a lot of you did not know everything you could do with our TrueType fonts, our downloadable TrueType fonts in the Silhouette Designer Edition software. Now, I'm still working on figuring out for the 2 color fonts, so be careful on those off the start. I just want to make sure that we get them working perfect. But again, we have over, I think, 200 Rhinestone TrueType fonts. What I'm going to do is Rudy's going to go ahead and type it in the chat here, and I'm actually going to type it on the screen. Everybody can still see my screen. So TRW, we'll do TRW TV, and then we'll do Cameo 1. So that's going to be the coupon code. What that's going to do for the next 2 hours, so anytime we do live webinars, that's obviously the big benefit of doing live webinars, is if you attend the live webinar, especially if it's a paid one, we're always going to have some type of coupon code. They might not always be exactly what you're looking for, but a lot of times they are. So the TRW TV Cameo 1, and this is going to be 25% off download files. Okay? So what that means is for the 25% off download files, you can get the different, all of those different Rhinestone TrueType fonts that you've been looking at, or you may have not thought that the Cameo and the Designer Edition can work with the TrueType fonts. Well, for the next 2 hours, 25% off all download files. That's all of the files plus all of the Rhinestone TrueType fonts, okay? So anything, 25% off. Rudy's creating that coupon code right now. So all you need to do, look through the different TrueType fonts. If you see some that you like, feel like some of those are going to help your business with the Designer Edition and how easy it is to get that sizing, 25% off for the next 2 hours. So until 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, okay? Awesome, awesome. Okay, well, again, thank you all very, very much for coming to our first Cameo webinar. Again, I'm hoping that you feel like it was worth your time. You learned something that's going to help you. And the more and more we learn the software as well, obviously, the more and more we'll be able to help you guys. So it's a pretty pretty cool software, and it's very, very nice for the price that you get it at for getting going in the business. Now, we do have all of our different TRW Stone Wizard and CorelDRAW webinars and trainings as well. If at some point we normally have a free one at least once a week or once every other week that's an overview of CorelDRAW and the TRW Stone Wizard. So any of you that are even interested in possibly upgrading at some point and just want to see what the wizard is like, what it can do, then you can kind of compare them and say, you know what, okay, the Cameo's brought me this far, it's made my business successful, now it's time to look into a Roland cutter, GX24, or a Graphtec cutter, or a GCC cutter, one of the larger 24-inch cutters, or now it's time to get into this software where I can do more with the different mock-ups and a lot of different features. So again, we want you guys to make sure that, and that's why we do the webinars, so you can see exactly what you're getting. We want you to make, obviously, an educated decision that's going to help your business anytime you're purchasing something from us, and we're always going to provide awesome support on it as well. Okay, perfect. Well, any quick last questions before we head out? Okay, I see a bunch of them pouring in here. Awesome. Christy, thank you very much. That was very nice. Christy couldn't find the place to type in the questions. It got lost, but she found it and she learned some things from the lesson today, and very grateful that we see you guys as people, not just order numbers. Your crew's proven that to me a couple times. I trust no one else but you guys. We appreciate that, Christy, and that's why we do what we do, because we know we've built our entire business around customer support and taking care of you guys. And we know if we take care of you in the long run, we're going to grow your business and you're going to take care of us as well. So that's why we do everything that we do. It is a lot of time to create these different webinars and create all of these videos, but we know how much it helps all of you, and that's obviously why we do it. Awesome, awesome. Okay, well, thank you all again very, very much. Thank Rudy for answering all the questions as they're coming in. He's had a ton of them today. So great thing is all of the Silhouette users here, you guys ask a ton of questions, and that's awesome. So I may need to bring in a second person here to help him answer questions next time, but that's what we're here for. We want to answer the questions as they're coming in for you. We want to help you out as much as possible. But again, if you do have any questions at all, please make sure to give us a call. Number's 941. And before I do go, we will be posting up that webinar for this M design, and we'll be posting that probably later today, or if not, first thing tomorrow morning. My guess is it's going to be at 3 o'clock or 3:30 tomorrow Eastern Standard Time, and that's where we're going to run through everything. So we'll get that posted. We'll put it on the Facebook page as well. But again, if you guys do have any questions, make sure to give us a call. Number's 941-755-1696. This is Matt and Rudy with the rhinestoneworld.com, and you guys all have a great day.